Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. It's good to be back again. Thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to connect with you. Now, we all know what's been going on and where we're at in Nigeria. We're at a point where urgent actions must be taken to ensure Nigeria does not further degenerate. The situation is salvaged. That's where we are. And in 2016, the United Nations raised an alarm over the illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria, saying that 350 million out of the estimated 500 million of such weapons in West Africa is domiciled in Nigeria. That was as at 2016. Some of these weapons originated in Mali, some in Libya, where we know there are ongoing conflicts. By the way security challenges continue to escalate here, Nigeria appears to be moving towards becoming a failed state. Now, that's a definition or a description you may not like, but let's ask ourselves, what exactly is a failed state? What is the definition of a failed state? According to United Nations, it is a country that is unable to perform its basic functions, including providing security, education, and healthcare for its citizens. Now, recently, we all know it was in the news that concerns were expressed by the UK over the security situation of Nigeria, and they actually proffered to help. But in the area of education, we have the largest population of out-of-school children in the world. Some say up to 12 million children are out of school in Nigeria. Again, looking at our tertiary institutions, we know that lecturers go on strike, indefinite strike. They're out of school for months, meaning that the students are also out of school for months. 4-year courses run into 6 years, and they're at home idle doing nothing. It's also in this country that doctors go on strike. Everybody justifying, the reasons for doing what they're doing. And right now we all know that resident doctors in Nigeria are on strike. I listened to the interview of the president, I think, a few days back, and he said they were going to go from state to state, insisting that doctors must not work. What does that mean? It means that families who have members in hospitals who are on admission will have to evacuate them. I'm sure they would have by now. And those who can afford will take their family members to private clinics. And those who cannot afford it will take them home. Home to do what? Home to, God forbid, watch them die. But that is the Nigeria in which we find ourselves. Never in our history have things gone so bad. This reminds me of this Sonny Okoso's song. It says, "Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria?" The song is ever so relevant today. Now we have come to a point where it is clear that men of goodwill must start an open discussion of the Nigerian matter. Discuss the state of the nation. They must start to chart a course to take Nigeria out of the rut in which we found ourselves. Ask the relevant questions, ask the hard questions, and give honest answers. How did we get here in the first instance? How did we get here within such a short period? What led to it? What must we do to avoid a further degeneration of the situation? What is the way forward? Is there really a way forward? Is there a way out of all of this? We used to be ethnic groups. Now everybody is a nation. Ijaw nation, IPOB, Yoruba nation. Everybody is a nation, ethnic nationalities. How did we get to this point? And there was a meeting or a panel sitting where two governors, Governor Rufai and Governor Fahimi, the chairman of the Governors Forum, and Senator Abaribe, the minority leader of the Senate, were there, including other gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and they looked at this issue, asking questions, and the outcome of that meeting is what this review is all about today. So I'll start with the summary of the submission made by Governor El-Rufai himself. So that, because it was a very, very long meeting, over an hour, but it's good to just look at the salient points that came out of that meeting. In his submission, there were several, but I'll bring out the very, very important ones. He said the police force must be decentralized. That's not new, but it's being reiterated again, because more and more it's becoming clearer to Nigeria that warehousing all of that in Abuja has not worked and will not work. The police force must be decentralized. So that's the first. That was the first submission. That was the first, proposal he made. He said, create state and local police to take security and to take security closer to the people and make governors accountable. We all know that right now the governors, they just throw up their hands in the air, saying there's really nothing they can do, and we know there's nothing they can do under the present circumstances. The second recommendation he made was for the amendment of the Constitution, allowing states to control their resources and pay royalties to the center. I know that's the only issue with the Constitution, but maybe that's a starting point. The third point is around decentralizing the judiciary to ensure a faster dispensation of justice. I think it's only in Nigeria that a case can run for 21 years before, I don't know what kind of justice you will get by that point, when all the players are either dead, or they decide to forget about it. I remember recently, not too recent, maybe about 2 years ago, when some family eventually got a judgment on the Agidingbi land, the area around that area. And they suddenly, people woke up to find notices on their gates that they don't own their properties anymore. They have to repurchase those properties, from the new owner, who finally got the judgment after more than 20 years of the case being in court, only in Nigeria. So, decentralize the judiciary to ensure a faster dispensation of justice. If the state is able to, if it comes down to the state level, maybe things will move faster, and the confidence of the common man will be restored in the justice system of Nigeria. Again, he said the armed forces, which is very, very interesting. How can the armed forces not be armed? But again, we also know that things are going on there. I remember I listened to the news sometimes last week when Governor Matawale of Zamfara was I think it was in Niger State for an occasion, and the person who attended on his behalf, as part of the speech he made, indicated that most of the budget of the military is spent on personnel costs, and other admin costs, and that only a small part of it is spent on acquiring weapons. And if that is the case, then it's no wonder that the Boko Haram insurgency has been going on for years. We all know that right now we are in the 11th year of Boko Haram, and we're also in a time when other heads of the Hydra-headed monster of insecurity in Nigeria have emerged. Bandits, kidnappers, and all sorts, under all the names that they come. A little while ago, also looking at arming the armed forces, and the fact that they are grossly underarmed from what we hear. When a retired general, Major General Mungunu, said in a BBC Hausa interview that the $1 billion that was released to procure arms, there appears to be an issue there, because the new service chiefs say they can't see anything on the ground, no equipment, no arms. And, where is the money? And remember, someone came up to say that, of course, all the arms have been ordered. You just can't pick, jet fighters off the shelf. We all know. We are not stupid. We went to school. It's in this same country that someone spent 4 years in detention, after bail had been granted for the same reason. Money that was meant for the procurement of arms went into private pockets. It's very, very interesting in Nigeria. Another point he made is around reducing the cost of governance, and this is really where I'm going to dwell on a bit, because essentially what he's saying is calling for the implementation of the Oronsai report. If you all remember, looking at the proliferation of MDAs as ministries, departments, and agencies of government, the Jonathan government instituted the Oronsai Commission, mandating it to look at MDAs and give its recommendation. And at the end of that exercise, the commission came up with an 800-page report from which, the white paper was drawn. And, we all know that things will not just go the way it has been recommended in this country. The recommendation came with a list of agencies that must be merged, those to be scrapped, and those that will be self-funding. And people have done their best to scuttle that report. Lobbies have gone on to ensure that MDAs that were created by law and for which the laws must be repealed before they can be scrapped, they continue to hang and continue to exist, And, it's just also so interesting, because the main reason for the assignment was to ensure that funds can be freed up so that capital projects that need to be carried out in Nigeria across the country can get, the necessary funding. I will not go around cap in hand begging to borrow money to do capital projects in Nigeria. As part of the recommendation, it also stated that funding of professional bodies must be discontinued, meaning that the Professional Bodies Act of 1972 will be amended so that the government will not continue to fund these bodies. They will start to get funding, reach out to get funding by themselves. Now, this report has been gathering dust for 10 years after it was presented to the government. No will to implement the recommendations. Now, because a number of these MDAs were created by legislation, like I said earlier, the enabling laws have to be repealed before they can cease to exist. There has been high-level lobbying to ensure that this does not happen, even though Nigeria benefits nothing from their existence. By the time the government white paper on the report was released, most of the recommendations for scrapping and mergers were rejected by the government. Some agencies with glaring duplicated functions were ignored in the white paper, which was released in 2014, all of 3 years after the committee had presented the report. Now, based on the white paper, there are some There's some MDAs I'm going to mention here that you will never know they existed. The following MDAs were recommended to go. Fiscal Responsibility Commission, Salaries and Wages Commission were recommended to be scrapped. Nigeria Airspace Management Agency and Nigeria Meteorological Agency were to be merged into a new body to be known as Federal Civil Aviation Authority. Federal Airports Authority to be privatized without further delay. All these recommendations were accepted, but none has been implemented. The Nigeria Investment Promotion Council should be merged by recommendation with Nigeria Export Promotion Council, NAPEP to be scrapped and its functions transferred to the new body to emerge from the merger of NDE and SMEDAN. NAPEP has been scrapped, NDE and SMEDAN yet to be merged. Now there is a commission called Utilities Charges Commission. Have you ever heard of that? Can you believe such a commission exists? It does. It was recommended to be scrapped. The Royal Committee also recommended that the passed bill on the Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, whatever that is, should not be assented to by the president. But for all you know, it may just have been signed. The Commission also recommended that the enabling law of National Commission for Nomadic Education be repealed and the Commission's functions be taken over by the Universal Basic Education Commission. Nomadic Education Commission. There will be people sitting there, earning their salary day in, day out. And 12 million children are out of school. Only in Nigeria, the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency and National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency and their functions were recommended to now be performed in the Ministry of Environment, which is sitting and existing. And then stopping the funding of professional bodies, COREN, APCON, etc. A number of the recommendations met with outright rejection. One of them is taking the road safety out of the office of the Secretary to the federal government. Honestly, I never knew that was their governing body, so to speak. Road safety managed by the Secretary to the federal government. Very interesting. Another recommendation which was rejected was merging the FEMA with the Federal Ministry of Works. Total rejection. And that's Nigeria for you. So as it is today, that report is sitting there, gathering dust. Nobody having the will to push the recommendations forward, to conclusion, implementing it, so that all the duplicities and the multiplicities we have in all these services, which amounts to not much, just continue. And the cost of governance is such a burden on Nigerians. Now, I've dwelt on this because even though President Buhari indicated the need in 2019 to go back to the report, like I said, it appears that much progress has not been recorded. So that's it about the recommendations of Governor El-Rufai. Governor Fayemi also spoke, and on his part, he mainly concurred with a number of points made by Malam El-Rufai, including the implementation of the National Livestock Program. He agreed to that. He also noted the need to regulate the social media, citing the EdSARS issues. They are all pursuing this social media regulation matter. Let's see how far they will go with it. Now, because of time, I will conclude this review in another episode. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. Please keep your comments courteous, and let's use this platform as our ideation ground. Let's bring out ideas from here. You never know. Your idea may just be the winning one for Nigeria. Now, on a lighter note, it appears that this is a season of trips and falls. First, it was President Biden and then our own BAT. Even the women are not spared. Sorry, madam. And the winner of all the contestants is President Ford. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you for spending the time with us. Please like and share this video, and subscribe and click on the bell to receive notification of our new videos. See you next time, and thank you.